Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Nmap with Sang. My name is Sang David and I still remain your trainer for Nmap on this series. So today we'll be looking at installing Nmap on our different operating systems, and by that I mean installing Nmap on Windows, on Linux. You have a Mac OS. We'll also be looking at how we can install Nmap on our Mac and also on other operating systems. So first and foremost, you open your browser, either Chrome, Brave, Edge, Firefox, right? Whichever it is you're using, you open up and then you go to your tab. Now I have this installed opened already, but I'm just going to close them so we can start afresh. Right, so you can just go ahead and search for nmap.org, right? You either search for nmap.org or you search for download Nmap. So the option comes for you. When you search for nmap.org, it takes you automatically to the Nmap website, right? So the page where you can download is here, this button here. So we click on the button, and then it takes us to a page where we choose the operating system we want Nmap installed on. Right, so we have options for Windows, for Mac, for Linux, and any other operating system. Now, just like I also searched here, download Nmap, the page comes up and then you click and this automatically takes you to the download page as well. Right, so if you're using Windows, Mac, Linux, any other operating system, you can choose from here, right, and then you install. So let's say you want to install this on your Windows OS. Let's open for each operating system first, then we iterate through. Now remember that if you're installing Nmap on Windows, it comes as the GUI version, right? It comes as a GUI version, comes looking like this, right? It looks like this. So by GUI, I mean graphical user interface. That is, it comes in form of buttons, input fields. You don't have to learn commands or try manipulating commands, right? Like it doesn't come in the form of a terminal where you have to start saying nmap -v, nmap -a, nmap like that, right? No, it doesn't come that way. Right, it comes in this format like this, right? So that's it for Windows. So how do you install Nmap on Windows? All you have to do is read through the documentation, right, until you come to where they give you the latest stable release. So the latest stable release, right? Because you know there are other releases that will be outdated, thus not stable. So you click on this, you click on it, right? And then it installs, see, right? So I already have Nmap installed, so I'm just going to pause this. But if you, since you don't have on your end, you can allow it to install, right? So I can go to my folder, right, and I have Nmap installed already, right? So what do you do next? You double click. Right, since it's a Windows operating system, you install it just the way you install for every other application you want to install on Windows, right? So you can go ahead and say yes while you follow the remaining installation process, right? So you continue like that until you now finally click install and it continues installing, right? So that is how you install for Windows operating system. So once it finishes installing, all you have to do is just search for Nmap on your Windows OS and you have it installed, right? So we go through this. If you have the time to read that, you should, but since this is a tutorial, we wouldn't have the time to go through all of that, right? So that is the installation for Windows, right? So we have the installation for Linux, right? Linux operating systems can be Kali Linux, they can be Ubuntu, CentOS, Parrot OS, right? Those are examples of Linux operating systems. In case you have either of these and you're wondering, okay, which is which, right? So for Linux operating systems, you can download it through the installer here, remember latest stable release, you can download it through the installer here, right? Or you install it, you can download and install it through here, or you install it through the terminal, right? So the terminal is like the opposite of the GUI on Windows, right? So here on the terminal, all you have to do is you say sudo. Sudo means super user do. That is, we're saying we want our root user to grant us access, to permit us to install Nmap, right? So because if we say apt is the package manager, this is what allows us to install applications on Linux operating systems, right? Apt install Nmap. When we execute this, you see we were told permission denied. That is, they're asking us, are you root? Are you a root user, right? If you're not a root user, you cannot install Nmap. So what do? We say we want, okay, root user, please grant us access, and then we go install, right? So although I already have Nmap installed, so it's going to give us an information like Nmap is already the newest version, and then it gives us the version, right? But on your end, since you don't have Nmap installed, it's going to go ahead and install, and then you have Nmap installed. So how do you know that Nmap installed? You can type Nmap, and then it comes up with something like this, right? These are the different sections of Nmap. Or you type man Nmap, right? Or Nmap-h, right? Like that. This is how you confirm that you actually have Nmap installed, right? So this is it for the terminal for Linux operating systems, and I'm doing this on my Ubuntu OS, right? This is on my virtual machine, this is on my virtual box, right? So this is it. This is how you install on Linux operating systems. To install it on Mac, right? To install on Mac, the same process you took with Windows operating system, where you clicked on it and then you were able to install it. Same thing you do for Mac operating system, right? And for other operating systems, many other operating systems support Nmap so well that I have no need to create and distribute binary packages myself. So you can choose to use any of this here, right? As long as it suits your operating system, right? So that is it for installing it on these different operating systems. So let's check if we have Nmap installed, right? So you see Nmap, Zenmap GUI. So we open, right? So we open it. Let me see, I think I called the process okay. Anyways, I think I caught the process midway, right? But then that is how you install it on your operating systems for Windows, for Linux, for Mac, and any other source code. So I'm just going to close my browser. All right, so let's finish it. So you see, Nmap has been installed on your computer. Click finish to this wizard. So now we have Nmap installed. It wasn't opening because it had not finished installing rather. Right, so now we've finished installing the Nmap, and opening Nmap, we see this, right? So I told you if you're using a Windows operating system, you'll be using the Nmap GUI, that is Nmap. So this is how the Nmap GUI will look like after you install it on your Windows operating system. So you start using it, you see it's completely different from the terminal where you have to learn commands. On the terminal, you execute commands like this, right? But then here you input targets, right? You use buttons, and then you have your details here. Yeah, so that is it for installation of Nmap on Linux, Windows, Mac, and any other operating system. I hope you did not encounter any issues, and if you do, feel free to contact me, right, to walk you through the process. See you in the next video. Thank you.